The May 19th City Council meeting is called to order. We have our invocation by Ms. Helen M. Crenshaw, Exhorter, Southside CME Church, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance by Councilor William Parker. Please stand.
Good morning. Let us pray. Dear God, we come to you, Lord, this morning with humbled hearts. We come, Lord, just thanking you for another day. We thank you, Lord, that you are all-powerful, almighty, and all-knowing God. And we just thank you for your grace and your mercy this morning. And Lord, we know that morning by morning, new mercies we see, and we are just grateful for your love and your care. And Lord, we pray at this council meeting on this day that everyone that make a decision will have confided in you. For Lord, we know that nothing can be done unless you are in the midst. And we pray, Lord, that we would just love one another as you have loved us. Help us, Lord, to remember our Sunday school lesson, that we're one body with all parts. And Lord, help us to put our parts together and do the work of him who sent us. And it is in the mighty, matchless name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All roll, Ms. Clerk. Madam Clerk, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We got a madam today.
Councilor Abbott.
Present.
Councilor Hort.
Present.
Councilor Lundy. Councilor Parker.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councilor Rafferty.
Present.
President Pro Tem Roberson.
Present.
Councilor Scales. Councilor Tyson. President Austin.
Present. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
The minutes are not ready for March 17th through May 12th. Madam Clerk, let's go on with the consideration of the consent agenda.
Okay. The consent agenda begins on page 2 with item number 2. Then you go over to page 9, items 3, 4. Item 5 was removed from consent. On page 10, it's items 8. Item 9 was added to consent, and item 10. On page 11, items 11, 12, 13, and 14. On page 12, items 15 through 18. On page 13, items 19 through 23. On page 14, items 24 through 28. On page 15, items 29 and 30 were added to the consent. On page 16, items 32 through 34. On page 17, items 15 through 38. And on item number 38, the item, it should be corrected. The amount is $83,458.79. And on page 18, item 40 was added to consent. On the addendum, I think I got this right. Items 41 and 42 were added, as well as 44 and 45.
Yep. All right, thank you. On page 15, we wanted to change, we want to refer item 29. We want to take that, not leave that off of consent and refer item 29 to PIC, yes. Do we have any members of council wish to speak to the consent agenda? Councilor Abbott?
Yes. Mr. President, well, the items on page 9, items 5 and 6, item 5 has not been to Budget and Finance. Item 6 has, and it doesn't say that it has. On page 10, item 7 has not been to Budget and Finance. And I wanted to ask, did I hear that on page 10, item 9 had been added to consent?
Yes.
Okay. Then on page 11, item 12, the amount that was approved in Budget and Finance was $200, but the agenda says $300. So we need to know which one is accurate.
For the fishing rodeo?
Yeah, the yeah, because what was put on our agenda was said $200. Then on,
Leave it off consent, or you just,
well, I think we better leave it off until we find out what the correct amount is.
okay.
Then on page 12, item 17, it says Glen Iris Elementary School, but it actually is Ramsey High School. We don't want to paint the wrong flagpole.
Okay.
So we need to change Glen Iris Elementary to Ramsey High School. Then, let's see, we did item 29. Then we put item 30 on page 15 on consent. Is that accurate?
Yes. Yep.
And then on page 15, item 31 needs to be sent to Budget and Finance. It hasn't been yet. And I wanted to be sure that item 39 on page 17 did not get put on consent.
It's not.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other council members wish to add or remove anything from the consent agenda? Any members of the public wish to speak to an item that has been marked, that has been placed on the consent agenda marked as a public hearing? You may now approach the podium.
Mr. President, the clerk wants to know
Can
which
you-
item did,
Yes.
since that it take off.
Besides I know you took off item number 12, but did you take another one off?
It was the Family Fishing Rodeo.
Right, I took that off.
Page
That was
11,
the
item
rodeo.
12.
That's the only one that you wanted to take off.
Yes.
And also on item number, on page 9, item number 6, it is actually recommended by the Director of Traffic Engineering and not the Director of Planning, Engineering, and Permits.
Okay. All right, and that would also be marked as recommended by Budget and Finance, but it's not on consent. All right,
Mr. President?
yes.
Before we go on now, item 5 has not been to Budget and Finance, so that would need to come off of
It's,
consent.
yeah, it's off.
Oh, okay, and the other one there were 2 others that hadn't been to committee.
Item 7.
Item 7 on page 10 and item 31 on page 15.
Yeah,
So I wanted to make sure they're not on
Item
consent.
7,
that's right.
page 10.
They're not.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're ready to vote.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Roberson,
Roberson Abbott.
okay.
Oh, she said.
Okay, voting has started. Counselor Hoyt.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
and the
close.
vote should be up.
All right, the consent agenda passes. Go to the first item, Madam Clerk. Should be item,
Okay, the first item would be item number 1.
we'll come back to that.
You come back to
Let's
item
go
number
to
one.
item number 5.
Okay. Item number 5 on page 9. Item number 5 is a resolution approving the agreement with Dynamic Civil Solutions, Inc., Birmingham, in an amount not to exceed $105,200, inclusive of any reimbursable expenses, to provide basic engineering design, surveying, and other operations for the First Avenue North Streetscape project, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the city.
We have a mover and a second.
I move approval.
Second?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move that we send this to the Budget and Finance Committee.
All right, been moved, seconded, that we refer it to Budget and Finance.
Okay.
Ready to vote.
Hold on 1 second, let me change that. Should refer. I just typed it. Okay. Okay, the voting has started. I'll make sure I got everybody. Counselor Parker? Okay, your vote should be up.
All right, the item will be referred to Budget and Finance. Next item will be item 6.
Item number 6 is a resolution approving the Third Amendment to the agreement with Engineering Design Technologies, Inc., Birmingham, and the additional amount of $160,729.48, which increases the amount to to be paid to the contractor to $311,041.85, inclusive of any reimbursable expenses, to provide construction, engineering, and inspection, testing, and contract administration services for the City Traffic Control Center project number STMBH 9802920, and authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment on behalf of the city.
Have a motion?
Mr. President, I move approval.
Second?
Abbott, Rafferty. Do we have any speakers to this item?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I just wanted to remind the clerk that we need to add that this was recommended by Budget and Finance.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready to vote.
Okay, voting has started. Got everybody, okay. The vote is up.
That item passes to be referred to, that passes. Next item, item 7.
Okay, item number 7 on page 10. A resolution approving the appointment with Engineering Design Technologies, Birmingham, in an amount not to exceed $12,560, inclusive of any reimbursable expenses, to provide electrical and plumbing design services for the city garage car wash project, and authorizing the mayor to execute the appointment on behalf of the city.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move approval.
Second?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move that we send this to Budget and Finance for review.
Second?
Abbott, Rafferty.
Okay,
Ready to vote?
hold, let me change that. Voting started. Counselor Hoyt. Is everybody okay? The vote is up.
That item will be referred to Budget and Finance. Next item, item 29.
Okay, item 29. Item 29 is on page 15. A resolution authorizing the Director of Planning, Engineering, and Permits to use a condemnation repair permit to Tremaine Jones, to issue a condemnation repair permit to Tremaine Jones, the owner or agent of the property located at 1143 13th Street North, Birmingham, which was condemned by the council, in order to remove the weeds and trash from the premises within 10 days of permit issuance, and to commence and make substantial repairs within 30 days of permit issuance, one permit having been voided due to the lack of substantial repairs.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move approval.
Second.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move that we send this to the
Yes.
Public Improvements Committee for review.
Second.
Abbott, Roberson.
All right. And Councilor Roberson. Okay, voting has started. Okay, that was everybody. Your vote should be up.
That item passes. Next item, it'll be referred to PIC. Next item should be 31.
Item 31, on the same page, page 15, a resolution approving change order number 2 to the contract with Taylor and Myrie Construction, Inc., 11 Dexter Avenue, Birmingham, to create an owner contingency allowance in the amount of $245,000 for the Birmingham Intermodal Facility Phase 2 bid package 1, and authorizing the mayor to increase the contract amount with Taylor and Myrie Construction, Inc., in accordance with said change order.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to move the item.
Been moved, Roberson, Abbott.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I would ask that we send this to Budget and Finance, and with an explanation
Okay.
as to why we have a change order already.
All right.
Mr. President?
It's moved and properly seconded to be referred to Budget and Finance.
I would also like to add that this be moved to
Transportation.
transportation as well.
All right.
Second.
All right. Ready to vote. Madam Clerk.
Okay. Voting is started. The vote is up.
That item passes. Next item, 39, be referred to Budget and Finance and Transportation.
Okay. Item number 39 on page 17. A resolution approving the following advanced expense accounts. Lisa Cooper, Director of Economic Development, Mayor, Washington District of Columbia, $1,583.21, May 28th through the 31st, 2005, to attend African American Mayors Association Annual Conference. Jonathan Austin, President, Council, City Council, Washington District of Columbia, $2,169.34, May 20th through June 4th, 2015, to attend the American Council of Young Political Leaders. Jonathan Austin, President, Council, City Council, Salt Lake City, Utah, $1,744.38, June 10th through the 13th, 2015, to attend NLC Summer Policy Forum. Cheryl Kidd, Administrator, City Council, Denver, Colorado, $1,901.71, June 7th through the 11th, 2015, to attend Clinton Global Initiative. William Parker, Counselor, City Council, Denver, Colorado, $1,901.71, June 7th through the 11th, 2015, to attend Clinton Global Initiative.
All right, have a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay.
Parker Roberson.
The vote is started. I'm sorry, Councilor Tyson, how would you like to vote? Okay. Okay, the vote should be up.
That item passes, one no vote from Councilor Abbott. Next item should be item 43.
Okay. Item 43 on the addendum. A resolution appointing one member to the Birmingham Library Board for a term expiring December 31st, 2018.
All right, move that we reappoint Ms. Gwen Amamu.
Second.
All right, do we have any other names to be submitted into nomination? We'll close on that nomination. Ready to vote.
Okay, voting is started.
Council Tyson,
Councilor Abbott.
This is just letting her fill out another application.
her term, reappointed to a second term.
Have we took applications?
We have some, but this is not for hers. We have taken about 2 applications.
Have we had an opportunity? Was it for her term?
Yes.
Well, I haven't seen them.
We received them a long time ago, but we're just now reappointing her. And we have another vacancy, just so you know, we have another vacancy with Ms. Witherspoon. So we'll be doing applications on that. But we talked about this in Administration Committee meeting, Administration Education Committee. That's what the committee recommended. All right,
Okay, Councilor Rafferty. The vote is up.
that item passes, one no vote from Councilor Tyson. Next item, Ms. Amamu will be appointed. Next item, Madam Clerk, is item 12, I think,
Okay.
that we didn't get an answer to. We needed to have an answer to. Yes, item 12. You go ahead.
Item 12 is a resolution, I'm sorry, let me tell everybody what page it's on. It's item 12 on page 11.
Right.
A resolution finding that the activities associated with the 18th Annual Birmingham Park and Recreation Family Fishing Rodeo to be held on Saturday, June 6, 2015 at Eastlake Park is authorized pursuant to Section 114719, Code of Alabama 1975, authorizing the expenditure of the total amount of $300, including $100 from the Oak Ridge Neighborhood Association and $100 from the South Woodlawn Neighborhood Association to provide for a portion of the event to be paid from funds made available for these neighborhood associations for this purpose, subject to the availability of funds remaining in the allocation for these neighborhood associations.
President.
Yes.
Typo.
I move approval with the change of the amount from 300 to 200.
Second.
All right. Moved and properly seconded with the change from 300 to 200 from what the Budget and Finance Committee recommended.
Okay.
Ready to vote?
Voting is started. Counselor Hoyt. Oh, I see you. Vote should be up.
That item passes. Next item, we'll go back to the mayor's report. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Morning.
Mr. President and councilors, most important function of city government is the annual passage and facilitation of the budget that will govern the upcoming fiscal year of the city of Birmingham. As required by law, the budget from the mayor should be submitted to the council by the date of the 20th of May. Today, we are here before the council to submit our budget for the council's review and deliberation. Each year, the budget process gives us a chance to pause and reflect on the successes, the challenges we face, and ultimately design the roadmap for the city in the upcoming fiscal year. The city has experienced a surge in national and international recognition as a human rights city in the United States. This has given us the opportunity to embrace our past and build on our future. Ultimately, with the new Freedom Center project, the various designations via UNESCO and other organizations that the city is securing and the solid support of public-private partnerships, the city is poised for never-before-seen chance to capture historic and cultural tourism dollars. In addition, the announcement of that Birmingham will host the 2021 World Games will be a time to showcase the city to the world and catapult us into the next generation of legacy building, allowing the city to establish itself as an ideal location for young families and young professionals while positively impacting the future of our citizens. At this time, I would like to share with you a brief video presentation before I move on with the other portions of the budget message. city of Birmingham enjoyed unprecedented growth with new businesses locating in the city and existing businesses expanding in 2014. More than 2,000 new jobs in our retail, commercial, and industrial sectors were announced, bringing major new capital investments of hundreds of millions of dollars to the city. These projects are located throughout the city of Birmingham and include the Steris Corporation, which purchased integrated medical systems and relocated other major corporate parts of their organizations to the Sloss Furnace Business District from Mentor, Ohio, with 100 new jobs and the promise of even more in the near future. Limbaugh Toyota broke ground last spring on its new dealership in Ensley, joining Edwards Chevrolet downtown and Sarah Automotive on Parkway East as major automobile dealerships that chose to expand in the city of Birmingham instead of accepting lucrative incentive offers to move to the suburban areas. In the Uptown District, the city of Birmingham's new downtown entertainment district is now full and boasts outstanding restaurants as well as coffee shops and other retail that will complement our still new Westin Hotel and recently renovated Sheraton. The new Grandview Medical Center, when it begins operations on Highway 280, has changed its expected opening to the fall of this year from the original announced first quarter of 2016, resulting in hundreds of new jobs. Camtech, located in our Valley East Industrial Park off Highway 79, announced expansions through 2019 that will bring almost $450 million in new capital investments and 234 new jobs, in addition to establishing training programs for young men and women who wish to go into the field of automotive parts manufacturing. Camtech is an operating company within the Magna Corporation, one of the largest automobile suppliers in the world. Publix is coming to downtown Birmingham and will begin construction on its new full-service store on 20th Street near UAB this spring. The new VA clinic and parking deck is under construction and not only brings new investment, but it will give easier access and medical care to Birmingham area veterans. Evonik, a research and development corporation, is expanding, resulting in 25 new jobs in the city. Hardy Corporation's new facility was completed in 2014, and assistance with the payment delivery call for the 2013 development agreement was provided by the city. Action Resources, new corporate headquarters, relocated downtown from Hansfield with 40 new jobs, financial incentives provided by the city. So far in 2015, major project announcements include the long-awaited Presents project, which boasts a total investment of $67 million. The project will include mixed-use, residential, retail, commercial, and also has parking deck incorporating 6 floors of residential space, mezzanines for office space and ground floor retail, in addition to 134 upscale apartments. This premier project is estimated to be completed in 2016. The Thomas Jefferson Tower has a total investment in this project of over $21 million, and again is a mixed-use residential and retail commercial venture with 100 residential spaces encompassing over 150,000 square feet of total space. Local favorite Saw's Restaurant recently announced it will also have event space in the Grand Ballroom. This project is expected to be completed in spring of 2016. Capitalizing on the city's surge in sellout sporting events and top-tier concerts causing regular hotel sellouts in the city, the Empire Hotel, via Accent Hospitality, announced over $25 million investment to convert the Empire building into a 128-room Marriott Autograph Hotel that would feature collaboration with acclaimed local chef Chris Hastings. This project has an expected summer 2016 completion. In addition, the old Alagasco building will be renovated for a limited service Marriott hotel of 120 rooms, resulting in an additional $18 million investment. As these projects are completed over the next few years and open for business, we expect to benefit from the increased tax revenue. We look forward to being able to use these new revenues to make needed improvements in our infrastructure, upgrades in our neighborhoods and communities throughout the city. As Birmingham experiences new growth, we look forward to working with our existing businesses, new businesses, and citizens from all over the city to continue to move Birmingham forward. The fiscal year 2016 budget includes revenue increases with increased personnel costs. Department heads have been charged to continue to find ways to reduce operating costs and provide services more efficiently across the board. One excellent example is the major initiatives underway to try to reduce utility costs, which we hope to aggressively reduce those costs by 50 to 75%. We have tried to fully fund our health care costs, but the costs continue to rise, forcing tough choices. Our goal has been to cover as many options and to be certain that the basic health care needs are met in an affordable and comprehensive way. Cities and employees around the country are grappling with the same issues, but we are fortunate that Birmingham has been able to sustain our workforce beyond what most cities are capable and able to do. This budget includes an increase in the city's funding of our major employee pension plans. In addition, in about 2000, the city pension fund was fully funded on an actuarial basis. At that time, pension benefits were increased and the funding were reduced from 14% of payroll, 7% from the city and the employees, to 13%, which worked out to be 6.5% for each. Since then, the unfunded actuarial liability of the plan has grown. In order to try to reduce the unfunded liability, we are recommending going back to the 14%, which requires 7% from the city and 7% from the employees, which is currently allowed by law. So the city will increase its contributions by 0.5%, and so will the employees. Our workforce is truly the backbone of the city. Each and every day, the men and women who work with the city of Birmingham strive to impact the lives and make a difference in the city. To reward our employees who provide the city services to our residents, we have included a 5% merit increase and a 2% cost of living raise for the merit and non-merit employees. We have also increased the budget for the Birmingham Police Department to include overtime by $3 million and proposed funding for some technology upgrades in an effort to improve services and reduce costs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also been involved with the My Brother's Keepers initiative, in which we anticipate and expect that we will have access to millions of dollars to help assist us in creating training programs for our young people in the inner city, to provide GED and educational opportunities and expand the opportunities for kids coming into our elementary schools so that they can really enter into kindergarten ready to learn and be capable of reading at third grade level by the time they reach the third grade. Our hope is to address the needs of our city and our citizens while balancing our attempts to grow the economy and add jobs and attract visitors and guests. Part of that hope is dependent upon our new RISE program, which the council has heard much about, and information has been presented on that. As we go through the process of our pilot program in the Pratt City area, in which we're going through the process with probate court to really work out all of the steps necessary to clear title to many properties that have been abandoned and overgrown lots in our community. Hopefully we can take that program citywide in the near future to address the growing problem of abandoned homes and vacant lots. Our hope is to address these needs comprehensively and totally. This is no easy task, but we have the team in place to make these things happen. I am honored and I'm proud to be the mayor of this great city and to see the progress and excitement on a daily basis. Fiscal year 2016 promises to be a year of continued success and unparalleled growth to our great city. Mr. President and members of the City Council, I submit this budget proposal to you at this time and would hope that you would diligently pursue the discussion and implementation of this budget. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. The members of the council have anything for the mayor at this time?
Well, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Mayor, I certainly appreciate your efforts and you presented the budget, you talked about new growth in the neighborhood, but you didn't specifically delineate what that new growth is. And it would help me, and maybe you got it in your overall report, or your proposed budget, but it seems to me that, you know, we clear about what we are doing downtown, but there seem to be little or no interest in the neighborhood. At least we can't define it. And so I'm looking at 5 Points West. We've been having land over there at Crossplex. It's been vacant for the last 6 years. And no development, no movement. And so I'm just wondering, when are we gonna take care of these outlying areas with respect to that? And maybe you got it in here, you just didn't, no, but I didn't hear that. All I heard is neighborhood growth, and, but it needs to be quantitative. That's my comment.
Okay. All right. Any other members of the council wish to speak to the mayor? Mayor, Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Mr. Mayor, that I am very pleased to hear that the city is doing so well. And I'm looking forward to perusing the budget to see what all is in there. But it is uplifting after we've had a few hard years to hear that we are doing so much better than we have been in the past. So this is good news for all of us.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any other members wish to speak to the mayor? I will just add that I am certainly looking forward to seeing the budget, going through it, and hopefully passing the budget on time, and keeping in mind what the council's priorities are as it relates to the budget as well. And so I just look forward to getting it, you know. So thank you, Mayor, for giving us that report. All right, we have item 1.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, when will we
Mayor.
receive our copies?
Right now.
Right now? Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw them out in the hall in a box. So I need to-
Council Tyson, did you? Okay. We have item 1 that we need to vote on to set the public hearing for the budget. And I will say that we will also have, while we're getting to item 1, we'll also have the budget, community budget hearings again, as we did last year. We are scheduled for Friday, June 5th at 6 p.m. at Parkway Christian Church in District 1, Monday, Monday, June 8th at 6 p.m., New Pilgrim Baptist Church, which is in District 6, Tuesday, June 9th at 6 p.m. at the Bethel Baptist Church in Pratt City. This will be in District 9. Wednesday, June 10th at 6 p.m., Avondale Elementary School will be in District 3. And we will make sure that each council member has the opportunity to reach out to your constituents, to invite them. And we will, at that time, by that time, we should have an idea. We will have an idea. We will know what's in the budget and have an idea of where we're headed with it and be able to communicate that intelligently to our residents. And so, and we'll be talking more about that as we move on with the process, but I did want to go ahead and make those announcements about the dates for the budget hearings. All right.
Item number
Madam
1.
Clerk? Yes.
A resolution setting a public hearing on Thursday, May 28, 2015 at 5:30 p.m. in the council chambers on the mayor's proposed budgets.
Mr. President, I move approval.
Second.
Abbott, Roberson.
The voting has started. Councilor Rafferty.
Yes.
The vote should be up.
That item passes. The public hearing will be set. All right, we are down to our speakers. First speaker, let's move to suspend the rules for our speakers.
Mr. President, I'd like to move to suspend the rules for the speakers.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, first speaker, Mr. Baker. State your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes, Mr. Baker.
Don Baker, Birmingham Firefighters Association, 184 Oxmoor Court, Birmingham, Alabama, 35209. First and foremost, I'd like to make a comment to you, Mayor Bell. The video was great. I'm with Councilor Abbott. It is exciting to see the growth and the progress that the city is making. It's just exciting. And I do concur that employees are the backbone of the city that do the work day in and day out that many never see. We're back. We're here again this year, and we seem to do this dance every year. I just want to put a few facts out. Employees haven't had a real cost of living raise in the last 7 fiscal budget years. The ones that they have gotten amount to a 1.5% COLA, which is about 0.21% over 7 years. I stand before you today, and Mayor, I greatly appreciate the fact that there's going to be merit increases in there and a 2% COLA. Should I choose to keep my current insurance plan, you're looking at an employee that will take an $1,100 a year cut. I'm topped out. The 2% will not cover the premiums for my family and I. So after 26 years, I'm getting a pay cut. Our members work very hard. They run into burning buildings. They respond to aircraft crashes, explosions, you name it. We're exposed to everything under the sun. And I'd like to mention 5 names real quick that were between the ages of 45 and 62. Jeff Miller, Maurice Miller, Mike Moore, Major Career, Jackie Bennett, cancer, heart issues, didn't get to enjoy a retirement. With that being said, we come before you today on behalf of my membership. We're begging, we're pleading, and we're asking to please find somewhere in the budget to shift some money to offset some of these insurance costs. We realize that the costs are rising. We understand what the city government faces with certain things that are in place today, and we certainly understand that. We also understand with the economic growth that this city stands to gain in the future under the leadership of you, the council, and the mayor, that these things may not have to be quite as costly to employees that provide the services. We humbly stand before you today. Thank you, Mayor Bell, for what you have put into the budget and to the council. We'd ask that you help us offset this cost to our families. Again, I personally will take an $1,100 cut. I'm topped out. So for 26 years of service and doing my job, that's what I'm going to get. So with that being said, thank you for the work that you do. I hope you consider us in the upcoming budget meetings, and we sincerely ask for your help. Thank you.
Next speaker.
The next speaker is Ed Watkins.
Mr. Watkins.
Mr. President, distinguished members of the City Council, my name is Ed Watkins. I am the Vice President of the Fraternal Order of Police, Birmingham Lodge 1. First, let me also thank the Mayor for keeping the municipal workers in this upcoming fiscal budget decision. I will not reiterate some of the things that Mr. Baker did. He pretty much covered everything. But I would like to point out that he is 100% correct that a 2% cost of living adjustment will not offset the significant increase in health care coverage for our members. We as an organization, as an executive committee, realizes that these are very trending times and everything costs. We would ask that some consideration be given to the fact that over a 7-year period, I think Don and I numbers kind of clash a little bit. Our estimate is a 2.5 cost of living adjustment over a 7-year period. So we just would ask that there be some consideration for maybe just an increase in COLA of 1% or 2 to help us to do that. A significant amount of our members are behind the eight ball. We won't rehash past budget, spilled milk. However, it does have a significant impact on morale. You have line supervisors that are making less than subordinate officers. And subsequently, you have some executive level supervision that are making less money than their subordinate supervisory management personnel. So these things have a resounding impact across the board. It alludes to the ability to develop leadership moving forward with all this growth that's projected. This is a great city. You have some great people, you have some very talented people. But if they're made to feel like they're not appreciated, there are other options. Some people are more rooted in Birmingham than others, but that's not the case for many. And we just would ask for some consideration for the professionalism that we've exemplified. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker,
The next speaker is William R. Muhammad.
Mr. Muhammad. State your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
My name is William R. Muhammad. My address is 411 Lorraine Street. And to the council and to the mayor, I wish to address this council dealing with the Birmingham Waterworks Board issue. I say to my friends that I appear to be the only one who's getting older and kinder, and I don't know whether I can continue to hold to that kinder part. I want to know what's going on. I mean, why it seems like there's a tag team with the Republicans and the city council to affect the Birmingham Waterworks Board. I've heard all kind of vicious rumors, and I'm not a man who likes to spread rumors, but I've heard of meetings with Jabbo Wagner taking place in Montgomery, and I've heard of promises of city council raises and all kind of stuff, but I'm just wondering, did the city do anything to protect this asset, an asset that we've had and built up for 50 years that's a national top 10 asset? And now 10% of the customers get a seat on the board. That's ludicrous. Customers get a seat on the board, 10%. What about the other counties? You know they're gonna file a suit saying that it's discrimination if they don't get a seat on the board. What about the wholesale buyers? You know, they don't want a seat on the board too. And then what about the bond ratings of the Birmingham Waterworks? When we participate in this Republican, conservative, racist confusion, then what we're doing is damaging a $1 billion company's ability, and you all know that, to be able to raise funds to do what they have to do. Now, last time I came up here saying to you that the voting rights lawsuit had been upheld by the Supreme Court, which states that the majority of the people who live in Jefferson County are under black majority districts, and that there should only be 5 Senate districts according to the Alabama state law. Well, if 3 senators are black and they live squarely in Jefferson County, that would change the Senate from 8 until 5, because only 5 is supposed to be in there. So why are we kowtowing to people who are taking away their citizens' rights who we represent? Now, I read an article that states that you plan to replace sitting board members, creating more confusion. And in that article, it says that you want to replace them with people who care about the people. I ain't never heard of none of these darn people that you said care about the people. I've been around here forever, and I ain't never seen none of them do nothing that said that they care about the people. What does this mean, those who care about the people? What's the problem with the board that you appointed? How come you have a problem with these people? Let us know. Explain that to us. And so I just want to close on this note that heavy is the head that wears the crown, especially when it's rolling down the street.
Thank you. Next speaker,
Olivia Thompson.
Ms. Thompson. State your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Olivia Thompson. I live at 325 12th Street Southwest, Birmingham, Alabama. I came down here to talk to the city council. The mayor wasn't here last week. When the children came and spoke, the children sits in the audience, and children pay attention to what grown people do and everybody else. You think they're not paying attention. Well, when I got back to the center, we talked to the children later that day. The children asked the question, well, did we not present ourselves well? Why did they not ask us any question? They asked the other children Is it because we didn't have any black, any white with us? It was just all black. Children are watching and paying attention. I tried to shoot it off saying, well, y'all was on the mayor's presentation. Well, the mayor wasn't there when the other children spoke, but they said they asked questions and talked with them. We weren't good enough for them. They're going to represent the city of Birmingham when they go to Chicago to this national oratorical contest. We should be proud of our children because they was from 1st grade to 8th grade to participate, and they got up in front of people to speak. And this is what they're looking forward to. But the city council made them feel bad, made the children actually feel bad because they just looked at them. Yeah, you clap, but they just looked. They said, no one asked us any question what grade we was in. I said, it's okay. But it hurt me because those are babies, and they pay attention to what grown people are doing. So we need to conduct ourselves better and let our children know we are supportive of them. Maybe they didn't come out of y'all district, but we all for Birmingham, and you all supporting Birmingham, and those children are from Birmingham. They go to 4 different Birmingham city schools, but they want to present themselves to the city council to let the city know what they are doing and how proud they are of themselves, and they thought maybe y'all would be proud of them too. And that's sad to show bad sportsmanship with the children because they felt bad for themselves.
Next speaker,
That's the last, oh, I'm sorry. Fanny Clark.
Amy Clarks. You gone? All right. That concludes our, Council Rafferty. That concludes our speakers. We're down to old and new business. Councilor Tyson. Can you?
Complaints for the mayor. Residents have been complaining about 1612 Alameda Avenue, and they want to know when is the timeline for Public Works will be able to cut this lot. 1775 Jefferson Avenue is an abandoned house that needs to be checked for condemnation, and the lawn is overgrown and filled with rats and rodents. 1129 16th Street Southwest and 1991 13th Way have the same problem that the one on Jefferson Avenue they're having. I've received 10 more complaints about the bricks falling off of Old Allen's Drugstore on 13th Street and Tuscaloosa Avenue. It's a whole lot of bricks now. It was just a few of them. And that's all of my complaints to the mayor. And my announcements are, May the 20th, Gray Mountain Neighborhood will be meeting at the Smithfield Library at 4 p.m. I would like to thank everyone that attended the Black Women's and Girls Youth Summit at Winona High School. It was a great summit. We had 21 workshops. We had over 425 people to attend. I would like to also publicly thank the city of Birmingham for the work that they done on printing the booklets for us. Also, Ms. Kidd, I would like to also thank you for Kiara, Connie, and the other workers that helped me with this summit. They did a great job. Also, the schools that participated was Winona, J.O., Parker, Miles College, Lawson State, and UAB. The conference was all about inspiring and empowerment for women, and it was very successful. We have already received over 215 emails asking us to have another one, and also willing to participate and volunteer in the summit that when we have it again. That's about it. Thank you.
Councilor Hoyt.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Good morning to all.
Morning.
This comes from Ms. Lynette Peters, the president of Inslee Highlands, saying that she's requesting that the grass be cut towards Bush Middle School on Pike Road. Said the grass is so high the kids have to walk in the street to get past. And also, I had mentioned last week about the exits starting with Arkadelphia. I think it's Bush Hills, Bush Boulevard exit, and the Avenue I exit, all need some attention. Now, I think the State Department came by, but it was, I mean, it was ridiculous. But then I did see the exit to get off at Birmingham Southern, which is still part of my district, where the city workers came back and refined it. So I would want the same thing to happen on the west, in the neighborhood as well. Those lead into our neighborhoods, and certainly we just mentioned about Limbaugh making this investment and expanding their business, and yet when they look out the, from the business, and I was over there last week, I had to take my daughter's car over there, but it just looks bad. And not only that, but all these lots are overgrown. And I realize it's been raining, but, we need some work done in the neighborhoods. These lots are overgrown. We had a meeting last week at Bellevue Heights. Folk are complaining about it's dark in the neighborhood. I'm hoping, Mr. President, we address that in this budget. Lighting is such a pressing issue. It helps to abate crime. And I want to say, too, that I know we can't legislate morals and values with respect to what we do in public safety, but we got to get serious about crime in this community. Folks are dying by degrees, and certainly it warrants our full attention. And so I'm hoping that we give some crime-fighting measures that's going to yield some quality of life in this community. I don't think that you're not saying anything. It doesn't say that it's not happening, and it is happening. And the murder rate is going back up as I see it unfold in this city. So we just need to make sure that we are on top of it. I know the chief does an excellent job. I don't think the state legislature helped us with all this bearing the arms, and now you can have a concealed weapon and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't help us in our neighborhood at all, because these young folk got these guns and these cars, and I'm not sure all of them are licensed to carry them. So I'd like to see an increase of these, I think you call them road checks, or how you do, roadblocks. And I think you call them security checks, I think they call it. I forgot. But that's what we need, because I think it's going to save some lives again. But I want some attention on the neighborhood, and we have long neglected the neighborhood. And if you don't, and I would be inclined, Mr. President, if we can just have a little drive-through with the mayor, or either with Mr. Fancher or somebody, because I can show you quantitatively that there's neglect in my district with respect to these overgrown lots. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's not fair. It is not fair. So I'm hoping that we can do a ride-through. And before we give the budget back to the mayor, we might need to increase some things. But we need some attention in these neighborhoods. It's not fair. The light is still out at Avenue I. I said that over 3 months ago. It's still out. My wife has to come through there, as well as other citizens, and have to stop at that Avenue I exit, and the grass overgrown, trash is there. It's not a good, pleasant feeling when you come into our neighborhood. And
You
so
wrapped up your time.
I know it. I'm sorry, but I just want some neighborhood attention.
Mr. President,
Yes.
we heard the council on the last time he discussed the exits for the interstate. I have directed Mr. Stephen Fancher to take every necessary action to address those issues. The counselor mentioned that he wanted attention to the Arkadelphia exit. Well, the Arkadelphia exit is the same exit for Birmingham Southern.
It is.
In which we started there. The lighting program, as you know, we've been in discussions to have lighting changed out all over this city. Alabama Power has responsibility for maintenance of those lights that are out there. We're in discussions with Alabama Power, along with other entities, to really begin implementing the citywide lighting program that we will address all of the lighting. You heard in my budget address talking about lighting and the fact that we're looking to reduce the cost from some 50 to 75% with the new lighting systems that we plan on putting in across the city. So we are paying attention to the neighborhoods. We are concerned about those neighborhoods, and for anyone to suggest differently, it's an error. That has been constantly stressed with all of my department heads, and we'll continue to work towards that goal.
Thank you, Mayor. And what I was going to mention, I wasn't reminding the council that I do know at least one issue, and I appreciate you addressing those other ones, but specifically as it relates to lighting, that's been something that the council has been working on with the mayor. And I know we just approved the, if I'm not mistaken, last week, the lighting for the parking decks and the neighborhood. We were waiting on the Alabama Power to get back with the mayor's office, which Mr. Patton he told us in our last, I think it was Budget and Finance, that it had provided the new, the numbers for the lights and all that in our neighborhood so that we can start on that next. And so I know that we're working on it, and I know that that's taking place, as we just discussed that, because I've been continuing to ask about it. So I know that we're working on the lighting. But I just wanted to remind the council about that. Councilor Rafferty?
Thank you, and I apologize because I have a sick child at school and they keep calling me. I'll go get him in a second, so thank you for letting me make the announcements. The first, the most important announcement, Councilor Abbott. Saturday, you'll be 18, 21.
67th anniversary of being 18.
So I did want to make sure I said happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
Happy birthday. Can we sing it to her?
I'm waiting for you, Councilor Hoyt.
All right, let us join in. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Councilor Abbott. Happy birthday to you.
I'm glad y'all can sing better than I can. Thank you.
Okay, so jumping right into it, Friday, May 22nd, Ruffner Mountain has the Fourth Friday Music Series from 7 to 9 p.m. Saturday, they are also hosting a bird walk from 7 to 10 a.m., and you can contact them for more information. There will be 2 public hearings on the public transportation BRT plan. The first one is for the Roebuck-Huffman communities, which includes Southeast Lake, Roebuck Springs, South Roebuck, Huffman, and Liberty Highlands neighborhoods. That will be at Hawkins Rec Center Thursday night at 6 p.m. Also, the Eastwood and Crestwood communities will be meeting on Friday night at the McElwain Baptist Church at 6 p.m., and that includes Crestwood North, Crestwood South, Crestline, and Eastwood neighborhoods. On Friday, St. Martin's in the Pines will be celebrating Older Americans Month at St. Martin's. There's a Western theme. Councilor Abbott and Councilor Austin and Roberson, Parker, Councilor Hoyt, if you want to put on your boots and come out and have a nice hot dog lunch with the wiser people in the community, they will be at St. Martin's in the Pines from 11 to 1 on Friday. Memorial Day is coming up on Monday, and I wanted to please reflect that although we eat a lot of barbecue, it's a day to remember and thank those who have served and sacrificed to protect our country, our Constitution, and our citizenry. So please remember that's the reason for the holiday. Brown Springs will be meeting at St. James Baptist Church Thursday night at 6 p.m. Also, I had the interstate lighting, Mr. Mayor, keeps going in and out between the airport all the way to the Trussville city limits. So if we could please at least have consistent lighting, that would help. Also, Mr. Mayor, and I guess this would actually be directed to Public Works, During the last rain event that we had, there is a stormwater outlet, and I call it an outlet because the water was shooting out of it. It was coming down the hill, going into the water sewer, the water line on the street above it, and then it was shooting out like a fire hydrant on Castlewood in Roebuck Springs. So I would think there's some kind of a little blockage there. Also, Mr. Mayor, we've been asking for the last 5 years, and I know you're working on it. I noticed they were not in the lighting proposal that we got on the parking decks, but the Magnolia parking deck. We would like to get an update report on the status of what we anticipate on doing with that location at the next transportation meeting. And I believe that is all of my announcements, except for if you have time on Sunday, 3 p.m., the Stepping Stone ceremony at Alabama Veterans Memorial Park, which is off 459 at the Liberty Park exit. They will be laying stones of honor for our military, and Mr. Voigt will also get his stone laid at that time if you are able to make it out. I would suggest being there by 2:30 so you can make the hike to the flagpole. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President,
Yes.
as I've said on a number of occasions, the lighting on the freeway is the responsibility of the State Highway Department. They are aware of the situation. We've had numerous discussions with them. We are also looking at ways that we can change the lighting systems that are out there. The state would like for us to pay part of the cost to improve the lighting within the city limits of Birmingham. We're trying to work out the model and hopefully include that in the overall lighting plan, but we have not reached a consensus between the state and the city as what's the best and legal approach to doing that. As soon as we're capable of figuring that out, it's our hope to have a new lighting system altogether that's there. It's my understanding from the state that many of the parts that the lights on the system now are, they're not there. And so it makes it very difficult to repair those lights. And the state's position is that they don't want to repair them, spend the money if we're going to be changing them out. So that's part of the issue that we face, but that's the state's responsibility.
If I could just get a clarification on that, because I understand about needing to replace because those lights have been up since we poured the concrete, if I'm correct, that we hadn't changed out that hardware. But I was under the understanding from Mr. Dawkins that the city was responsible for maintaining.
Is that true, Mr. Dawkins?
We maintain them, but the state is responsible for replacing the whole system.
Right.
And that's what we're working on getting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just looking at replacing them like we did at the 5920 interchange,
Exactly,
rather
exactly.
than repairing them any further. Well, then I can tell the people
Because
that.
we don't have the parts to deal
Okay.
with it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Abbott?
Thank you, Mr. President. To go back and find them again. We do have our next Budget and Finance Committee because it would have fallen on the Memorial Day holiday. We are moving it to Thursday at 4 o'clock here in the council chambers due to the fact that we've got the public hearing on the budget at on that same date. So we'll have our Budget and Finance meeting at 4 o'clock, and then we'll have the hearing on the new budget at 5:30. So it should be a fun day, as always. I wanted to say that the Birmingham Zoo is giving free admission this entire Memorial Day weekend for active and retired military and their dependents. All they have to do is bring a valid military ID. So that's free admission to the zoo this entire weekend, May 22nd through 25th. I neglected to say that the submissions for the Budget and Finance agenda are due by Thursday, May 21st at 12 noon. This past week, I was invited to meet with the 5 Point South Merchants Group. And Mr. Mayor, we have more opportunities of things that we can fix in 5 Point South. I know you'll be excited to hear that. But they do have some good ideas. And the Itty Bitty Magic City ribbon cutting and key presentation. I'm surprised that the mayor didn't bring that key with him today, because they gave him this enormous key to the itty-bitty magic city at McWayne. If you have young children, I had more fun playing with the stuff in the itty-bitty magic city. I needed to have a child with me so I'd have an excuse, but I didn't, so I just had a good time anyway. But we helped to fund that, the city did, and it is just wonderful. You do need to take a child with you so you won't look silly, but you can really have a good time. And you know, we don't get to have all that many good times, so you have to take them when you can get them. The Rotary Trail, let's see, it wasn't the ribbon cutting, it was a groundbreaking. I want to call it a ribbon cutting, but it was a groundbreaking, and so the Rotary Trail will be starting to be worked on, and that is going to be exciting for Birmingham, because you can actually walk from the railroad park all the way to Sloss Furnaces, which I'm sure is going to open sometime soon, their new center there. But also on Saturday, we have the fishing rodeo, and I don't remember this occurring on the Memorial Day weekend before, but is this the, am I off? Is it not this weekend?
June 6th.
Okay, well, it's on my calendar wrong, I'm sorry. So, but the fishing rodeo is a wonderful thing. Thousands of people show up to fish for all those poor catfish, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a great family affair, and that will be June 6th, not May 23rd. I thought they were maybe having it in honor of my birthday. But neighborhood meetings, the 5 Point South neighborhood meeting for Monday, May 25th has been canceled, and also the Crestwood South neighborhood meeting has been canceled for May 25th due to the holiday. And we want to send our get well wishes to Marcus Odell, Councilor Rafferty's assistant, who was involved in a bicycle race accident this weekend and broke 7 ribs. Having broken 1 rib one time, that is extremely painful. So we will be praying for him for his relief from pain. And movies in Avondale Park will be again this summer from between June and July, so everybody should get ready for the movies in Avondale Park. And I think that's all for me, Mr. President. Thank you.
Councilor Parker?
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple of brief announcements. The Park Board will be meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at Fountain Heights Recreation Center at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And also, Mr. Jenkins has a couple of announcements he did want me to mention. The Men's Day is this Sunday at Oak Street at 3 o'clock, and Reverend Tyson will be the speaker. And I think there are a couple of funeral. One is for Ms. Gwen Thomas, is that right? Okay. At the Rivers of Living Water Faith Church, and that's Saturday at 12 o'clock. So anyway, that concludes the announcements.
Mr. Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mayor, I want to thank you for your report on the budget as we receive it, and as a council, do our due diligence the next few weeks to take a look at it and make sure that we continue to provide the city services that are needed to support our constituency here in the city of Birmingham. Also to the council and the mayor, I attended the Alabama League of Municipalities Conference, and I want to thank Mayor Walt Maddox, Mayor of Tuscaloosa, Council President Harold Taylor down there, and the City Council for the great hospitality as we had the conference continue today. A great conference, a lot of meetings that took place regarding the municipalities throughout the state of Alabama and how we will move forward legislatively as a body to help support legislation down in Montgomery to support our towns and our cities throughout the state. I am happy to announce that at the executive session, business session rather, and as a voting delegate, we did vote, and during that session, Mayor, and to my colleagues on the council, 2016, Huntsville will host the Alabama League of Municipalities Conference, but in 2017, the city of Birmingham will be the host of the Alabama League of Municipalities Conference here in May of 2017. So another great event coming to our city in the next couple years, and we're glad to host many mayors and council members from across the state of Alabama here in the city of Birmingham in 2017. Congratulations to all the graduates that are graduating here that have achieved highly in their academia in high school. We will have numerous graduations to take place this week, and I just want to tell our class of 2015 and to all the seniors, congratulations on receiving your diploma, but also look forward to your future endeavors, and whether it's college, whether it's the workforce, whether it's the military, whatever you decide to do. Congratulations to all our graduates in the Birmingham City high schools, middle schools, and even some elementary students. We got kindergarten graduations going on this week. What else? I want to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day weekend as we thank all those that have died in service in our country and the different military branches. And we commend them for their sacrifices they've made for us in our country and serving our country during Memorial Day weekend coming up. The Southwest Area Framework Plan meeting will be coming up, so please be on the lookout for those that live in the southwestern area of Birmingham for the framework planning meetings and comprehensive plan meetings that are coming up, and we'll get those dates to you soon. As far as neighborhood meetings are concerned, Gardens Highland neighborhood meeting will be at Mount Hilliard Baptist Church this evening at 7. On Thursday, Germania Park meeting will be meeting at South Park Baptist Church at 6 o'clock, and Hillman Neighborhood Association meeting will take place at 6 o'clock. And also, last but not least, I know we sung earlier to our colleague, Councilor Abbott, but happy birthday again to you, and may you have many, many more. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Tyson, you have something else?
Yes, I looked at my reminder about Lockway Gardens. I had a meeting with them last week. About 200 citizens are very concerned about the summer. You know, it's a lot of children stay on Woodland Avenue, and it's a set of apartments back right next to Lockway, and they're actually, all of the apartments are filled. They remodeled all the apartments, so we have a lot of children in that area, which will be cutting through Lockway, trying to go to the store, trying to go to the 5 Point Library because of the reading program. The citizens are very concerned about that area. And I am concerned about that area with Lockway. And also on 14th Street, it's some abandoned apartments that's 75% burnt. The pool, Woodward Park is there, the pool is there, and that pool is one of the busiest pools that our city has. And there go another problem, that the children will be cutting through those apartments, trying to get to the pool. So we are concerned about those 2 units because they are so large. In the area where both of them are located, it's a lot of reentry programs. We have 29 really around in that area, prison reentry program and all type of activity around in that area that brings concern to the citizens. And we need some attention put on that in that area. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Abbott.
Well, I wasn't quite as confused as I thought I was. There is a Memorial Day fishing rodeo and bike parade this Saturday. It is at Avondale Park at that lake instead of the lake that we have this wonderful poster for. So there is a fishing rodeo and bike parade this Saturday in Avondale Park from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So it's a shorter one than the one that they'll be having at East Lake Park, but the lake's smaller, so it only holds so many fish. But I hope everybody will come out for that, because the children in the bicycle parade, they really have a good time. They decorate up for Memorial Day, and it's very nice. So we're having 2 fishing rodeos. We're a big city. Thank you.
Thank you. My announcements are brief. The council is accepting applications for a vacant position on the Waterworks Board. If you're interested in applying for this position, please submit a letter of interest. Resume in my office by close of business on Friday, May 29th. We are also accepting an application for a vacant position on the Library Board. If you're interested, please submit an application to my office, letter of interest, no later than close of business June 5th. We have Central City Neighborhood meets tonight, May 19th, from 6 to 7 at Downtown Library. Graymont meets tomorrow, May 20th, from 4 to 5 at Smithfield Library. And again, the budget hearing, budget tour announcements. We will have the first meeting on Friday, June 5th at 6 p.m. Parkway Christian Church, Monday, June 8th, 6 p.m. at New Pilgrim Baptist Church in District 6, Tuesday, June 9th at 6 p.m. at Bethel Baptist Church in Pratt City, District 9, and Wednesday, June 10th at 6 p.m. at Avondale Elementary School in District 3. I want to thank, I know it's Officer Lewis. You got it? Yeah, I know, thank Officer Lewis for providing security today. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. President, I'd like to move for adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
This meeting is adjourned.